The other day, I had this urge to listen to Alanis Morissette's song, Ironic. And of course, this amazing metaphor or the ironic thing came up. It's the 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. And this is a metaphor for life in general, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in looking for the spoons. And we look through 10,000 spoons, the best like curvature for the spoon when really it's not the spoon we need, it's the knife. And this really spoke to me and this really got me thinking a lot. And just the simplicity of it is super fascinating because it really truly is this concept, this metaphor is really what helped me get through a very difficult time in my life last year, because and really prioritize. And even though going I went through a difficult time, I was still able to maintain a fairly stable, not perfect, but a fairly stable mental and emotional being as I was going through a very difficult time. And so it's this concept of we can look for so many things, so many external things to help us feel better, or even sometimes we can look internally, and internally we could look for the biggest things, and sometimes we look for the most pleasant things to help us feel better, right? It's just that normal dopamine craving. But at the same time, sometimes like the answer is literally sitting or standing or is literally right there in front of us. It's a knife, but we choose to continue looking for the spoons that are not really that are not what we need. And so, let me give you an example here. A lot of the things that, like the biggest thing that really helped me was to really feel my emotions last year, not intellectualize the feelings, but actually feel the emotions in my body. And this was a highly, highly, highly uncomfortable thing for me to do. It still is. However, this knife is what I would consider the biggest reason as to why I'm still able to function right now. This is the reason why my mental and emotional health is at I would say, a very good place, considering the circumstances that I'm in. Going through a divorce is a big thing. And somehow I'm surprised by my ability to still have my shit together. It's not always together. There are breakdowns, there are tears, almost every day, some weeks. But at the same time, it is because I allow myself to feel, I allow myself to cry, I allow myself to sit with that knife instead of look for, the 10,000 spoons. That is what really helped me get through this difficult time. And so also, this aligns very well with conversational hypnosis. The main principle that we embody in ACH is the fact that we don't really know what is best for our client, right? We can try to attempt to lead them into the 10,000 spoons. Meanwhile, the knife is exactly what we need. And this is why in ACH, stepping back and just being curious is super important, because we're humans. So even though we're highly skilled coaches and hypnotists, we can still have this confirmation bias, right? To lead them to the 10,000 spoons that we think is good for them. Meanwhile, really, they themselves are talking about needing this knife. And this is such a valuable skill to have as a coach, not just for yourself. Kind of like talking about what I said, being able to see for yourself, what is your knife? Are you ignoring the knife that is really in front of you, versus are you looking for that 10,000 things? Because that's how you're going to actually be with your client sessions as well. And I found that when I just stepped back and was curious with my clients as to what they needed, they gave me the most unusual things, which were, the knife. But it was when I was able to allow them to give this, it was through giving them the space to find their knife safely, was really what helped me to allow them to have the most epic transformations. It's crazy what happens in a conversational hypnosis session. Sometimes we talk about basketballs or ducks or trains. It becomes metaphorical. Sometimes it's very emotional and very emotionally heavy. That's the beauty of it, because if humans are so unpredictable, we cannot put ourselves in a box, because when we do, we take the magic and meaning out of it. And same for you, right? If if you have been called intuitively to just sit and listen, and you know that it's going to be an unpleasant feeling, sometimes that knife is exactly what will lead you and what you need to be able to grow, to transform. And not only will you help yourself, you will also be able to help your clients do this as well. Because when you can do it yourself, you're more capable and you are more qualified to do the same thing for your clients. So it starts within you. Sometimes this is just a reminder to make sure that if the knife is literally in front of you, make sure that you look at it, accept it, and stop looking for the 10,000 spoons, because that keeps us in a hamster wheel, and we're all for growth and development these days, right? So hope this helped, and I will see you soon.